Hello, beautiful people. How are we? How are we doing out there today? Hope you're all well. Dave, hamburger. Dave, go Boca. I'm trying to fix my headphones. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We're here. We're live. We're doing it. I'm not sure where Mighty Meat is. He might join us in a little bit. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Yes, he is out and about a lot at the minute, so he might not be able to make it. I'm not sure, but we'll get on with the show anyway. If he's not here, he is not here. Hope everyone is well that is joining us. Um, Settings, go to settings. No, as I say, I was just trying to figure out how to fix this static in my headphones. But I don't think I can do it, so not live anyway. So I'll fix that another time. If Mighty does come, I have to put my headphones on and grin and bear it. Grin and bear it, as they say. Right, on to the mock drafts. So I've got Tankathon here. I'll put Tankathon up for a second because it's got everyone in there, but I thought I'd share it anyway. Right. So consensus is that Caleb Williams is going to one. I mean, I know Mighty Meat doesn't think he deserves to be, but ultimately we know he is going to be. I think that 2 and 3 are going to be flip flopping. Jane Daniels, Drake May. So if we take Caleb Williams as gospel, that he will go number one. Every mock draft, everything that you read, he's gone number one. 2 and 3 though, they mismatch a little bit. There's a little bit of gamesmanship at the minute. Hello, Sarah P. Hello, Sarah P. I gave you a shout out on Twitter today. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but thank you very much for the membership, Sarah P, on my other channel. I gave you a shout out, the first one. I only just saw it today. I went in there and just looked, and Sarah P's a member. But thank you. I'll speak about it in my on the other channel. But good morning to you. Yeah, it was just sharing it. So thank you. I try to do it all in small posts, so I didn't go over the top. But yeah, you're the first one. Um, yeah. So if Mikey's not coming out, I'm just for keep this short, this stream. So consensus is Chicago Bears. You can see from my hat. Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears. The hat's too big for me. It's too big. Only just too big, but it's too big. But I'm not a hat guy. It's supposed to be 7 and I think 3/5, but it came as 8, size 8. But anyway, so Caleb Williams is gone. Now, Dan Quinn came on and said that they don't necessarily have to pick. They're going to pick a quarterback probably, but they don't have to pick it at 2. So that's a bit of a gamesmanship. I think they're probably going to stick where they are. I think, and by this mock, we'll stick there. Drake May, same Patriots saying they're hell happy to go with Jacoby Brissett. I think if the Vikings put a package together that's enticing enough, they will go. So these two will need their number 11, their number 23, probably their next year's first round. And I'm afraid to say, but they're probably the 2026 first rounder as well to get up there. I think it's going to take a lot to get up to these positions. So a lot of people are saying they're going to package deals. So I've got an example here. Some people are saying that what they might do is package up a deal. So, for instance, they might go to the Chargers and say, right, we'll give you number 11, number 23 for the number 5 slot, and then they'll send the number 5 slot and next year's first rounder to the Patriots for number 3 because the Patriots don't want to go back too much. So it's like a double, similar to what Kansas City did, similar to what not Kansas City, sorry, Buffalo Bills did for Josh Allen. They went up a couple of times because I don't think like people want to go too far back in this draft. Arizona Cardinals, they believe that if the Cardinals offered, I don't think they'll do this, the number 23 and Justin Jefferson, they'll get number 4. I don't think they will get number 4 for that. I think they'd have to put in Jefferson, number 11, and number 23 for that. And they might get something back for it. But anyway, so I don't know what order 2 and 3 are going to be, but that's more than likely what they're going to be. Cardinals are quite keen to get out of there. Now, interestingly, Nathan and Mighty Meat were saying that they don't like Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals should be drafting a quarterback. I just can't see them doing that. If they do leave there, it'll be for a haul. They'll be for a haul. Yeah, Dave, this is what Mighty Meat said. That's what Mighty Meat said. And Nathan, who was a Cardinal supporter, he agreed that he would ship him out. I've not heard anything. Not to say what happened, but I've not heard anything. I would have thought that they would have shipped him out by now, if that's the case. Or I would have thought we'd have heard something. Oh, hang on. Talk about. We got one idiot in chat, who's Dave Hamburger. We got another idiot just arrived in the background. Here he is. Hey, hey. Can you hear me?
What's up, brother?
Good. I wasn't sure if you're coming.
Yeah, I sent you a message. I just got caught up, so I was about 5 minutes behind. So.
Well, no, it's fine. I saw you sent you a message. Say, can we move it to Wednesday?
Yeah, I saw that one. And didn't see the follow
up. Sorry, mate. I just literally didn't think I'd make it on time today. But as you know, things happen, and everything. Well, it worked out in the end. I need to get my volume sorted. We were just talking like. No, not my volume. What do I want? Oh, speak to me, Mike D, because I need to get this volume right.
Well, so I'm looking at your board here, and
it's not my board.
Oh,
it's not my board. This is just Tankathon, as in general. Because you weren't here, I don't have any of those things, so I just brought up what Tankathon are drafting, not what I would.
Gotcha.
So
okay,
just
before
you go on, I'll just say what I said was Caleb Williams is going 1. I know you don't agree with it, but he's going 1. I'll get your thing up now. Jaden Daniels and Drake May probably 2 and 3, but in what order we don't know. And then I got to Marvin Harrison, and I was speaking about how you and Nathan said last week that you would ship Kyler Murray out, and Dave said exactly the same. Cardinals going with a QB and dishing Murray out, and that's where I'm at with it. So I was quite interested to hear that from Dave as well.
So I think the only way, the more and more I look into it, and fix that. There we go. The more and more I look into it, the more I'm convinced that unless they get to 2, I don't think you do that. And so this is my results. So I agree. Caleb Williams is going 1. I don't think he should. I think he's going to. I think that this pick is in play. So Washington is in play. Do you trade 2 and I mean it would take some magic, but do you trade 2 to I don't think Kyler Murray's worth 2. So you'd have to throw in maybe a second. So 2 and Murray for 4 and a first next year or a second this year, I mean, it would be an interesting discussion. But I think that the more I think about it, if the Cardinals aren't going to go to 2, I don't know that I would do it. Let's see if we can make that bigger.
Like I said, I was going to ask you to do that. Thank you. It's interesting, isn't it? Because until you said this about Kyler Murray, I never thought this was even in play.
Mhm.
To be quite honest with you, so all credit to you here. You've put this in my head. I was like, whoa, I'm shocked by
And
all.
yeah, I mean, could Arizona go down into 10 range? I mean, if there's a guy they like, I don't know. I think that if it holds, if it stays where it's at, there's no question that Washington is gonna screw up. And they're gonna take Drake May. I think they take May. I don't know. I've seen a lot of that going that way. I don't think he's the second best prospect. I don't think he's the second best quarterback. But I think Washington goes May if they stay there. And New England will jump on Jaden Daniels. But yeah, with Arizona moving the Cardinals, I just feel like there's going to be some kind of monumental move with Kyler leaving town, and I think Washington could be the team to bite. Kyler's not worth number 2.
But is he? Well, the reason I say that is because he's had some injuries, but better the devil you know. Sometimes you know he can play in the NFL, and it's interesting you're saying that none of these QBs are worth a first round pick. So in that case, is it not like where would they rank Kyler Murray amongst all these people? Probably second in this list. If you think about it, they probably would. So if they got, Kyler Murray to go up to 2, and then Arizona got Washington got back to 4 and something on top, they'd probably do it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. We'll see what happens. That would be kind of the steal if I just don't know. I don't know how it would work, but can you trade? What I'm saying is, can you trade Kyler Murray straight up for the second overall pick in the draft? And I don't think that's possible.
No, I don't think so. You have to give something else up as well, I think.
Right. And but I like Kyler better than I like Drake May or Jaden Daniels or
there we are.
Williams.
Yeah, there we are. There we are.
So I think that's going to be an interesting spot to watch. Washington has a good quarterback. Go with trade the Giants swap pick. Washington.
I mean, they got Mariota in Washington.
Yeah.
He's not very good.
I wouldn't call it a good trade bait.
I would say that he's probably Mariota's not even a starter in this league. Go with a trade with Giants swap pick. I mean, I don't think
I wouldn't.
For what? No, what do you gain from it? I don't know. I don't agree, Dave. I don't know.
I don't think the Giants are going or need a quarterback this year. But yeah, so then if we go down to 4 and 5, I think you get the 2 wideouts off the board. Arizona and the Chargers take the 2 best wideouts in the draft, Marvin Harrison and Malik Neighbors. I think that's all set. So I'm pretty confident in the top 5. I'm not sure the teams will be the same teams picking, but I think that's how the top 5 is going to shake out. So
we just don't know, do we? Because there's going to be trades or whatever. So we can't. We can estimate, but we can't really. So I read an article, article actually today. They were saying that the first 4 picks are going to be quarterbacks, and that Jim Harbaugh is licking his lips about he's come out and said that the first basically he's got the first pick in the draft. Essentially, is the way he stated it. Is how he envisages it now that everything's in play for the Chargers. He's really happy. He can either pick the best player in the draft or go back and trade whatever he said. And he believes they probably will be the first four will be quarterbacks. So
I don't see Ford being a quarterback. I don't see unless it's some other team. And I mean, I guess you could if you see, but then Washington's not going to take quarterback if they trade for Murray. So, and
I think what the majority of people think the Vikings are going to go to 4. Is a
Vikings are gonna go to
consensus.
4.
That's the consensus. If obviously everyone's just spitballing at the minute. I think because people are saying, "Oh, the New York Giants are after JJ McCarthy," and some people could jump up. They're all sort of speaking now that the consensus is in the mock draft world is the Vikings go to 4, and then ideally they go higher, but they go at least to 4 and get JJ McCarthy. That's that's it. That's in the mock world, mock draft world.
If JJ McCarthy goes top 5, then I might be done watching football for life.
I mean, most people have him now going top 5. I think if that trade happens, and I was looking at some trade scenarios that people like Dan Jeremiah and all them are now putting together, and they're all clued in, and they are all putting JJ McCarthy quite high up. People are even speculating now he's going higher than what Drake may. So, because I think what they're saying is that his ceiling is a lot higher than most of the others. But I don't know.
Gross.
I just let the experts do it. I mean, we can do mock drafts all day long. At the end of the day, they're never exact because people do this for a living. They get to see everything. They get to see every single tape. They get to see the person, the ceiling, everything. So we can only speculate, So
yeah.
So I don't know.
I just don't see. I don't see Minnesota going up for. I that would be Minnesota. That's a very bad idea. Not that I don't want to see you screw up your franchise for the next 10 years, but that's a really bad idea. Really bad idea. I mean, if we're talking generational talent, but I don't think JJ McCarthy is. I think he's game manager at best. Like he doesn't have he's not going to be. Yeah, I'm going to stick by that. He's not going to be a great quarterback in the league. He's not. So,
yeah, we'll soon find out. That's the beauty of all this. We'll soon find out as well. Do you know what I mean? So, that's the thing. So,
yeah.
So far, though, I don't disagree with you. So far in your mock draft, I think it's your mock draft's very solid up to pick 5 anyway.
Yeah. So we'll go down a little bit past pick 5, and we'll go 6 through 10. So I think the Giants get the best tackle on the board, Joe Alt. Kind of moving around that offensive line. Protect the future quarterback that you'll probably bring in because that's important. And then I think Tennessee kind of gets the short end of the stick, but they take Fashanu because they need that tackle. I think they'd rather have Alt, but I think somebody's going to snatch him up before them. So then we go down, and I think that Atlanta gets lucky in dropping players. They did it with a couple guys over time, but I think they get the best defensive player in the draft in Dallas Turner. I really like that pick there. He'd fall a little bit further, but Rome Odunze goes to Chicago Bears to pair up with their new quarterback because they're in desperate need of a wide receiver. I think he's one of the better positions on the board. And and go get that wideout. I think he's the last true first round wideout, maybe top 15 wideout or top 15 player. So I like him in Chicago.
Interestingly, Brock Bowers,
yeah, I think this is a Aaron Rodgers specific. I think Aaron Rodgers calls down and says, I want the safety valve. I want somebody who can bail me out and catch the football. And I think he takes Brock. So I think that's
interesting. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Going from 6 to 10 for you, I'll critique your mock draft because I haven't got one. So critique yours. The only change I would make is I think New York would go for Udinese. I think the Giants might go for him.
Okay.
That's literally so. Basically, then I would have Alt going to Tennessee, Dallas Turner staying where he is, and then I'm not sure who Chicago take there, but I think Fashion falls a little bit from there. That's the only one that I think that it might. But I 100% get your logic, and I don't disagree with you. I think Joel would be an hell of a pick for them. I think for New York Giants. I just think that the New York Giants, you know how they are. They want weapons for Daniel Jones. They want all that. So just, I don't know. I got a sneaky feeling they might go for a wide receiver because after, as you say, after Rome Udinese, there's not really, slam dunk wide receiver after that in the draft. So I don't know. That's the only reason I would go there. So I get your reasoning though with Brock Bowers. I like that pick for Aaron Rodgers. I think he's never had a weapon before, so I really like that pick. I just hope that remember Kyle Pitts when he first came in, he wasn't very good in his first year. He was okay doing well. I'm not sure how long is it going to take Brock to adjust. Because he'll have a lot of pressure on him. That's my only concern because the NFL is different. Do you know what I mean? So that's probably my only concern with him. But as a player, he's a hell of a player, and your logic, I think, is spot on. Dave Hamburger comes in. I disagree. Just take a QB to back up Daddy.
15 years ago, that might have been true. You take the guy that you're going to develop, but teams don't do that anymore. And also, the Jets are in win now mode.
Daddy wants to win. Daddy wants to win. So Daddy ain't one a quarterback behind him. He's not going to do a Jordan Love. Do you know what I mean? At 10, because Daddy will not be happy. Hamburger.
Yeah.
Bo knows New York. Billboards don't lie. They plastered all over Manhattan. I loved it. I loved it. His optimism for Bo Nix is huge. Sorry, mate. There we are.
No, and then 11, obviously, I don't agree with it, but I think he's gonna land there in Minnesota.
I agree.
This one may surprise you a little bit. Best quarterback.
Hamburger's not happy. Yeah.
Best quarterback in the draft goes to Denver. I think Denver's screwed into taking quarterback. They just don't have cap space. They're going to need to start rebuilding, and they're in a mess with the what's his name? Russell Wilson. There you go. Cap wise, they're just garbage.
The old go on, finish off. Sorry, mate.
No, you're fine. So I think Michael Penix Jr. is the most pro-ready and most talented quarterback in the draft, and I think I had to put him somewhere in the first round. He's too much talent to not be up there. So, yeah.
I know Dave's not going to be happy and be going like Bo Nix needs to be here, but no, I like this pick. But the only thing I think here is that I think they might stick with Stidham. The only reason being because I think they've got nothing to lose. Because if he stinks, then they're picking very high next year. probably top 5 next year if Stidham doesn't work out. And I just think they've got so many other needs now because they're fucked. Like you said, they are done
Yeah.
with cap space and stuff. So that's why I'm thinking, are they, because they've just lost Jerry Judy and all that. So I don't know, and that's the only thing that I don't hate this pick whatsoever. I just I think next year they might be picking very high up, and I'm just looking at next year's class. Is there a better quarterback than Michael Penix? I don't know. I generally don't know if there is or not, but I'm sure they're reviewing next year's top 5 quarterbacks, comparing them to someone like Michael Penix. Because now, don't get me wrong, if Stidham, balls out, then hey, they got a quarterback for the future, But chances are he's not, and they're probably going to stink, and they're probably going to be in the top 5 next year. That's the only reason I probably wouldn't lean towards a quarterback. But your reasoning and everything is I think, spot on. That's why I thought you might have Michael Penix going to the Raiders, if I'm being honest.
I
You've
looked at
spoken about that before.
Yeah, I looked at the Raiders too. I don't. I just feel like Denver has to take quarter. I don't know. I don't know what other position, because so once we get out of the top 10 and get into these, like, they're really not. This is not the best draft I've ever seen. This is kind of a weak draft. So it's
No, I agree.
Who else?
I think they go back. I think Denver go back. If
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest with you, I generally think they go back. That obviously we can't do that, right? We have to pick somebody. So I'll go with your pick because there's no one else. But I generally think they go all the way back because let's get some picks ready for next year.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I think that's a good strategy, especially with this draft and where you're at number 12. Denver has no option but to tank. I mean, there's nobody on that roster, and what do we look at it? $80 million in dead cap money or some shit. So
the only person that got is what's his name, Satan.
Yeah.
He's amazing, but he's probably top 2, top 3 cornerback in the league. But that's literally about all they got.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, it's gonna be a mess in Denver. I think you can bring a guy and develop him. I really do think Penix is the most talented quarterback in the entire draft. And I really like the guy. So
cool.
I had to find a spot for him, but
okay.
Since the Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, wherever the hell they're at now, since their Meek came to Detroit, they're going to need a corner. I feel like the corners are 1A, B, C, D. Like, I don't think there's much separation between your top 5, top 8 corners in this draft. So it's a pick 'em at this spot. I think Terrion Arnold probably is the pick here if it's kind of the Raiders' MO. Bama guy, but I don't think there's much separation with the corners in this draft. Not to say that they're bad. I just don't think there's much separation between, let's say, top 5. There's some good guys out there. So
it was interesting. I was reading their head coach, the Raiders head coach, mentioned something about looking for a quarterback and stuff. So they could be a team that might look to go up, even though they go Gardner Minshew and the other guy, I don't remember his name now. So they could be. I don't know. I can see the Raiders going up. I can see them sticking. I can also see them going for more trade value somewhere. I don't know what Tom Telesco's thinking about. Tom normally picks, going by the past, he normally picks. I also think he normally hits in the sense of on paper, but for whatever reason, when they get on the field, they never work out. So I don't know. Well, I mean, I know we got Justin Herbert, but that sort of fell to him. So, but yeah. I don't know. So yeah, I don't disagree with this. I just find that with quarterbacks and all that, it's such an unsexy like position. You just want the wide receivers and the big men, and the defense, and all that. You forget sometimes how important quarterbacks are. So I like that pick. I do like that pick for them.
Yeah. 14, we have the Saints. Jared Verse just seems like a Saints pick. Like there's certain guys that just seem like picks for that team. Verse is, I mean, he's a solid edge. He's not, name premier pass rusher in the league. But I think it's becoming such a disposable position where you next guy up position. I think Verse is a great pick here for the Saints and really fits New Orleans. I think he's that kind of guy, and it just makes sense for him to be there.
Even with Chase Young.
Yeah. Yep. I think you put him on the other edge, and
cool.
and you turn, strength into an absolute strength kind of deal.
Cool.
I think you can. I'm a big fan of backfilling on positions and just getting super talented. And New Orleans needs to elevate their entire team, but there's not like a massive hole. So I think best player available is a good strategy for them. So
yeah, I like him as a player. I think it's probably around this spot the Verse will go. I think. Yeah, I think he's a top 15 player. I can see him go a little bit higher, maybe, but two-way, I don't know. So I like him. From what I've seen, he nearly came out last year, if I remember correctly, and people had him like a top 10 then. So no, I think he's just a good, solid player. I've not watched him last season. Watched him the season before, and he was a monster.
Yeah.
So, the guy who was talking about the Raiders, Aidan O'Connell. So I forgot his name. With me, quarterback. Because there's an article I just clicked on. It says that even after signing veteran Gardner Minshew, no matter what the team does next, coach Antonio Pierce believes incumbent Aidan O'Connell will compete for 2024 starting job. He's earned that right, but he says, I got Tom Telesco as general manager. I got the magician. He'll figure out what he's got up his sleeve. He's done it for a long time, so I got a lot of trust in him. He knows something about quarterbacks, so I'm going to let him figure it out. To be fair, I mean, Tom Telesco, I like Tom Telesco, but Justin Herbert fell to him. He didn't have to do much work on Justin Herbert. So anyway, sorry, destructing that is, but anyway.
No, you're totally fine. Aidan O'Connell from quarterback U, the Purdue Boilermakers. So yeah. I don't know. I could see. I just don't think. I don't think anybody's good enough to go in this run. I think the common thought is going to be get the hell out of here, like get back, move back 10 spots. But obviously not everybody's going to want to move back 10 spots, and the value might not be there for 10. Yeah, I don't see any scenario in which that happens. Literally any scenario in which that happens. So.
Dave Hamburger, he wants Bo Nix. Do you know what I mean? He's going to say this for every pick now till you select Bo Nix.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, I didn't.
Still.
So then we go to the Colts. I really like this Quinyon Mitchell kid, small school guy, from the Toledo Rockets, about a half an hour south of me. I think this kid's a baller. I think he's hella talented, and he's going to make somebody very happy. And I think that's the Colts. So
yeah,
position of need. Again, plenty of guys out there that can fill the spot, but I think Mitchell goes here. So
I agree. They need somebody. They need to get that backfield I know. I was looking at Twitter. Lots of the Colts are like, "What's he doing in secondary? What's Ballard doing in secondary?" Well, maybe he's just waiting for the draft. So good pick.
Yeah, I could see that. The Seahawks pick, I didn't really know where to go here. Latham still on the board. They need offensive line help. I think you get to a place where you're a B-level team. So you're, kind of but you're a solid B-level team, but you need to level up your entire team. But you're obviously going to not do that. So you can't do that all in 1 year. So we go little pieces. You get a bookend. Latham's probably going to move inside, probably going to play guard. So I think you get a guy that can be there for 10, 15 years and you start building to get to that next level. So
solid pick. I think that's an underrated pick. I think that would be a very safe, very good pick. I think for whoever gets him. So I
yeah,
like that pick a lot.
yeah, I think he's going to be a pro for a long time. So and then you go to, again, there's just people that fit, and there's two more in this column that fit. And doesn't it just seem like Kool-Aid fits in Jacksonville? Like,
Yeah,
it just,
yeah.
the name fits, everything fits. Like, cornerback, Alabama. Again, cornerback needy team in Jacksonville. They like those speed guys that can burn, and I think Kool-Aid's just a natural fit for Jacksonville. So
No, he has to go somewhere, and yeah,
uh,
why not? Yeah, I think he's good. Again, it's interesting because I know you got Nate Wiggins coming up, but you're right. There seems to be like one A, B, C, D. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So there's another guy that I'm interested to see where he got him going, but I can't see him yet. So I'll wait. He's another quarterback as well,
Oh, okay.
but I haven't seen him. I think the one from Iowa.
Oh, Cooper Dean.
I'm not sure his name. The white guy.
Yep, he goes later. Okay,
Yeah, fine.
Lalutu Latau. He's listed as an edge, but he's more of an interior player. They just lost DJ Reader to, the good guys in blue. So they're gonna need to fill that spot. I think it makes sense here. I think he's probably a little bit more talented than 18, so I think they kind of get a steal here. But I think there's no question. I think that's another Bengals type player. Fills a need that they lost in free agency, and I think it looks all right. So
I don't know much about this guy, so I will trust you on that
yeah,
one.
he's kind of a big guy, big defensive lineman. So and they need that up in Cincinnati. Nate Wiggins, quarterback or cornerback, Clemson. I don't like Nate. Probably part of the reason why I sent him to the Rams. But yeah. Again, I think he's one of those players where if you need a defensive back, there's plenty of them in this draft, and they're all pretty comparable. He's not my favorite, but I think he's still deserving of that pick. So
yeah. I'm gonna again to say about him. Yeah.
So the most fitting pick, I think, Chop Robinson to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, it just fits. Like, he went to Penn State. His name is Chop. Like, what more fits in the Steel City with that with that famed defensive line and from the Super Bowl days of the 80s, and like he just fits. He just fits. Chop Robinson. Sounds like a Steeler to me.
Yeah. And to be fair, they do need more on the edge now as well.
Yeah.
Because that D is not getting younger. So
Right.
they need to re-up it a little bit. So yeah, I like that pick for them.
Mm-hmm. 21 Miami Dolphins, Talise Fuga, offensive tackle out of Oregon State. Again, probably a guy that is a little undersized, might move inside. Tua needs protecting, and he's a Hawaii guy. Fuga is originally, so fits with Tua. I just think that I think that the Dolphins are kind of good on their skill positions. I think they need to build trenches and big guys out a little bit, and I think he starts going in that direction. So
No, I agree with you. What's happening with what's his name? Warner. For the Dolphins, temperamental guy. Used to be with the Rams. Now he's Jalen Ramsey. Is he still with the Dolphins and stuff then?
I'm not sure. Let me look.
Yeah, I've not heard much about him at all recently. Because normally every couple of years he kicks off about his contract and stuff like that, but he's been quite quiet. Well, seems like he is anyway.
He had knee surgery in the off season.
I'm just trying to look here as well.
Yeah, I don't see much about him.
No, but he might be keeping his head down then because of injuries. He can't say much. Let's
Right.
say normally he's got something to bloody say all the time.
Who is it? Hang on. Brings up a good point. I got to see. Yeah, it was the Dolphins. So their other corner, Xavier Howard, opens the door to landing in Detroit. So, and this was yesterday, so it's not like we don't need another one. So,
Okay, interesting.
They might have a need at defensive back. But as of now, I think that interior offensive line, offensive tackle is
Yeah, I
probably
like
where
the
they
pick.
should be. So
Yeah, I like the pick. I just want because we talk about cornerback. I just popped in my head. Jalen Ramsey, is he still around? What's happening there? But yeah, no, I like that pick. Tua does need protecting. I mean, look, people say he's injury prone. Oh well, the O line hasn't really helped him.
right.
So I think this is you need that O line now protected. He's got Tyreek Hill, Waddle. He's got the key pieces. Just let him stay up for another second, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that this play, I think he could really help on that. So I agree. I think he will be moved in. I think if someone else said the same thing, I think he'd be a guard and a solid guard. Fuaga would be. So you said that, and he said the other person said that. So yeah, I agree. It's interesting how many tackles can then they come into the league as tackles, but then they get shifted inside. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's just another one, really. So yeah, good pick. 22. This is a white guy, isn't it? Cooper DeJean.
Yep. I mean, he's
I
from
didn't realize he was a
Iowa,
safety.
so
Yeah, I didn't realize he was a safety. I thought it was a cornerback, to be honest.
yeah, he's kind of one of those hybrid nickel defensive backs. I don't know. He's not going to be a corner because he doesn't have cover speed to be a corner. But I think he's a great ball safety. Obviously, the Eagles got back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Godspeed. Hope you never come back to Detroit. But other than that, I'm looking at their roster for safety, and it's not pretty. So there's a definite hole, and I'm even more in love with that pick. Cooper DeJean, he fits kind of a need, fits kind of their culture, and I think he'll ultimately be a Philadelphia Eagle after the draft. So,
Yeah.
So 23. I think you're probably right, and that Minnesota's going to get spooked. I don't think anybody's taking JJ McCarthy. I think it's all just fluff at this point. Nobody but Minnesota's taking JJ McCarthy. But I think they might get spooked into having to move. I don't think this is their pick. So I picked more for spot than I did actual the Minnesota Vikings. Although Minnesota needs defensive linemen, they lost a lot in free agency.
Question for you though, before you move on to this though, but why the hell did they get traded up to 23? Why would you? I mean, it's not a deep draft. That's what is confusing. If they're not going to package something together, why would they go up to 23? I'm confused by their move of doing that, if that makes sense.
Did they do it this year?
Yeah, did it a couple of weeks ago with the Texans. That's what makes zero sense to me. Why would they do that and go up this year for this unless they're going to package it together? I think everyone presumes or knows they're going to package something together. It's just which team benefits, I think it is. It doesn't make any sense to me why they would do this move this year.
Texans get 42, 188, and a second round pick in 2025. That's actually not a bad. That's actually not a bad trade.
It's a good deal.
Could it be specifically just for leverage, so you could get up there and maybe get up a little bit more?
Maybe. But the only reason you're going up a bit more is for a quarterback. So
as of 2 hours ago, from one of the mock draft peoples, oh shit, there's like 30 different people reporting on it. It looks like the Vikings potentially, with a heavy potentially, are trading 11, 23, and a 2025 first to New England at 3.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
that makes sense. A lot for Drake May.
No, I think but it makes sense. I mean, lots of people are saying that. I've seen that over the last few days. And Chat Sports had the same deal out there. In order to go to top 3, everyone said the same thing. You have to overpay. You have to. There's no ifs or buts about it. You're gonna have to overpay it and go there. I mean, they must love Drake May then. But Drake May is Josh McGowan, the quarterbacks coach, used to be Drake May's high school head coach.
Huh. Okay.
So Drake May used to whatever school he was at. McGowan was the head coach there for a few years, so saw him through all the process, and now he's with the Vikings. So I imagine he would be happy to see Drake May.
I think that again, it's one of those things where you have to love both May and Daniels, though.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know who's going to
100%. 100%.
And I think Washington's cheaper. I think Washington, realistically, 11 and 23 gets it done. I would call Washington, but I don't know.
I'm not sure. I don't think it does get it done, only because they know what they got and they know how desperate Vikings are.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think I think you have to put. If you think about it, San Francisco set the bar, got up from 11 to 3, and have to give up 3 first rounders for that. So that's the
Mm,
standard pay now.
yeah.
So it's 2 this year and next year. It's standard. That's what it is. Unfortunately, as bizarre as that is, it's now the going rate,
Mhm.
thanks to San Francisco, which I think was too much anyway, but this just proves it.
Yeah. And so I still think that Newton, big defensive tackle at Illinois, I think he fits 23 no matter where he goes. If he's a Patriot or if he's, a Commander or if he's a Viking, I think he's that's just a good spot for him to land there. Best defensive tackle on the board for a
Mhm.
game that's increasingly enjoying big guys up front. So, um, Amarius Mims, I, obviously Dallas lost. Did they lose two offensive linemen? They lost
The
Smith,
Jets. Yeah,
and then I thought they lost an interior guy too. I could be wrong.
I think they did. They think they did, yeah.
Mims, big guy out of Georgia, kind of fits the Dallas scheme. I think he's a Cowboy. He's not. I don't think he's the best tackle left. But I think he just fits. He's a system fit for the Cowboys.
Hmm.
More than anything, and I think that's where he ends up. So,
No, I like that pick. I like that pick.
um, Green Bay, the never-ending taking offensive lineman.
They have to,
Troy Fontana. They obviously lost. I think they lost two guys this year too, didn't they? They lost
Bakhtiari, and
Runyon and
um,
Bakhtiari.
yeah, Runyon as well. Yeah, so a
Yeah,
guard and a left tackle. Yeah.
yeah. So they're gonna need to fill and get their next anchor on that offensive line, and I think it's the offensive tackle out of Washington, uh, and then and this is kind of traditionally that 23-27 has been where the big guys go off the board. 26, I I don't know. Jackson Powers Johnson, I think he's a talented player. I struggled to find somebody that fit value for Tampa Bay here. I think Tampa Bay could be a serious contender for moving. Because I really truly struggled to find somebody who fit here. Um, so, but I like JPJ. Um, and they have their guy now, so they're gonna need to keep him upright. So why not, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
So, Byron Murphy, I really like the defensive tackle out of
He's
Texas.
great. Yeah.
Uh, so the Birds get a weapon and a big guy. Um, so yeah, I think he
Wow, mate, what are you doing? These last, whoa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, I don't know who Christian Haynes is, but the last Byron Murphy, Brian Thomas Jr., Graham Barton, Keon Coleman, Xavier Worthy. Fucking hell, those are quality players to get at the end of the draft.
they're quality players, but then you have to look at needs and team and
No, I got you. I got you. I'm just surprised they're all there.
yeah, yeah.
I love every one
I
of them.
yeah, I like Thomas as a receiver. I I don't know. I went back and forth on the Bills, who the Bills were going to take at receiver. The Bills are taking a receiver. There's no question. The Bills are
You
taking a
have to.
receiver. It's just who is that going to be? Uh, so we'll see. We'll see where Brian Thomas. If it's Brian Thomas, kind of where. Um, so insert random wide receiver here for the Bills.
Mhm.
The Lions, I think that there's going to be an urge to take a wide receiver here. There's been a lot of chatter about taking a wide receiver here, and people think that after the Zietler signing out of Baltimore, that means offensive line is off the board. I think you need another guy in that in the mix in the interior offensive line, and I think Graham Barton it could be a long time starter at offensive guard, and I love him here.
Love that pick. Love it.
So
I love that pick for the Lions.
yeah, I think it's a sensible pick, and I think it's something that really we can look forward to. So, 30 Baltimore. They get a dream with Keon Coleman, former Michigan State Spartan. Go Green. Hell of a wide receiver. Little bit of an attitude issue. He I don't know that he is committed to his craft like some of the greats. But raw talent wise, hell of a skill kid. And I think they get a steal, but I think that also the NFL sees that maybe if you're not 100% committed to your craft and willing to work for it every day, then maybe you don't deserve to be a top 10, top 15 pick kind of deal. Just kind of my thoughts personally, but so love him as a talent. He just needs to figure out what he wants to do. He could be poison if he's not in the right spot. And I think Baltimore adds another weapon in Coleman. So so then we go to San Francisco. I think they're in an interesting spot because I think that they got worse this year in free agency. They obviously lost a couple of people. I think they got worse overall. But I think they're still in that where there's always a year or two where you're in that contender window. You still think you're a contender. You're still building as you were a contender, but you're not. And I think we're going into that second half of it where we're going to add, a depth offensive lineman. And that's why I took Christian Haynes here. But in reality, San Francisco's probably turned the corner and their best years are behind them with this current crop. So I think that's kind of where we're at. But and Christian Haynes is a talented offensive guard. I think he'll do well there. And then with the last pick in the 2024 offensive draft or NFL draft, offensive
First
draft.
round.
Yeah, they're all offensive players, but two. No, there's more than that. Xavier Worthy, another guy that I just think fits. Kansas City likes guys that can just burn you with speed.
Yeah.
Worthy's obviously the fastest, 4.21 in the combine.
Yeah. Hollywood Brown as well. Oof.
Yeah. I think that Kansas City is in need of a wide receiver. Will draft a wide receiver, and I think Worthy just fits. I think he's a burner. I think he's a raw, talented guy that has some things to work on, and maybe that's where he ends up. So, but yeah. So that's my 32, brother.
I like it. The only comment I got is at the end. I think from pick 23 down, I think you just need. I think that's where some teams will go back and want to be. And if they do go back, like Denver or something like that, they might take a shot at a quarterback. So your Bo Nixes might sneak into the first round through that because of the 5-year contract and stuff like that. So we might see just for Dave Bono Gumbo. There might be some teams that will go back, but obviously we can't predict that. But if it'll be interesting to see what the Patriots do. If they do get the number 23, number 11, and next year's first. They'll just go with what they've got. Or do they pick Jay McCarthy at 11? Or there's a lot of possibilities. So interesting. I like it. I don't think I only don't disagree, but I'd probably have a couple of changes. But I think you're pretty much spot on with that draft, to be honest with you, mate.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it would be interesting to see what New England does. I think they'll probably shake up the draft. I don't think it's going to get done anytime soon. I think it will probably be a draft day type trade. But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it'll get done before that.
It's interesting. I think they probably want it to be done. If it's starting to come out now, 2 hours ago, that this is happening. I think it's happening in the sense of it'll come out now. Now the interesting one is Arizona Cardinals, because if they are doing something with Kyler, then remember last year the year before, sorry, 2 years ago, they got Hollywood Brown. No one knew about it. He flew into Arizona. No one knew about it. So it's those kind of moves we need to be looking at. Going right, does Kyler go? I'm shocked that there's even speak of Kyler going anywhere. To be quite honest, I thought they were all in on him, but I want to see him go somewhere else. I don't like him. I don't think he's that great. I think a fresh start would be good for him, probably. So somewhere like Washington might actually work for him. But those are the kind of things I'm keeping an eye out on, and that's going to be exciting to see. That's the whole build up for the draft. But I just think with the Patriots, if the rumors out there they're going to do the deal, I think they do it quite quickly because they don't want someone like Washington jumping up and going, actually, chuck a sixth rounder in there, and we'll do the exact same deal with an extra six. That's my only thing. So I imagine that possibly the Vikings leak this maybe just to test the water. Can we even go up even higher with a sixth or something? I don't know. So I don't know. That's my only thought. So
yeah, and what if New England does New England, and so they trade Minnesota for the suite of picks, and then give 23 to Arizona for Kyler. I mean, you could do that. Then you have your future. You have, I mean, the possibilities. You could take JJ McCarthy or stick with what you have, which I don't remember what that is.
Brissett, they go Brissett and Zappy.
Oh yeah,
Jacoby Brissett and Zappy, and I think there's another one there as well. I forget his name, but nobody does any kind of good or anything. So, this Mac Jones is gone. So yeah, I think it's Zappy, Brissett, and whoever they decide to bring in as quarterback. If they do, I know they were saying we were happy to go Brissett. Brissett is he's a steady quarterback. You're not going to win much with him. You're not going to lose. I mean, he's very steady. So I don't know. I think he do a fine job, but not like he's not going to light the world on fire or anything. So,
right.
But yeah,
yeah.
Oh, there we are.
I'm just running. Hang on, I need to look. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Okay. I just wanted to look real quick to see like what happened if everybody was off the board. And okay, we're good. I was just looking at something. I think it's going to be interesting. Does New England take JJ because they had success with another former Michigan quarterback?
Yeah.
You know,
But it comes down to the weather. It comes how do these players do well in the weather? Like this is the only thing that I think Kyler might not go to someone like the Patriots because of the weather. I'm not sure Kyler would like to play in the snow and in that kind of rain all the time and stuff. I think he is a fair weather kind of guy. I think Arizona probably suits him weather wise. I've always seen him probably Well, actually, I was going to say going to the Raiders, but they wouldn't trade to the Raiders anyway, would they? So,
Right.
so yeah, he hasn't got much options really. So he's going to have to play in the cold if he is let go. That is. So I don't know. It's all interesting. Everything's in play.
Mhm.
It'd be just see what happens with the Patriots if they do actually do the trade off. It's just an entice for to see if Washington takes the bait and goes, nah, we'll take that whole thank you very much,
Right.
and we'll do everything that Patriots plan on doing. So we'll see.
Mhm.
It's the beauty of the draft. Beauty of the draft. You never know what's going to happen, and it'll all happen. Even if you think you know what's going to happen, forget it because there'll be twists and ups and downs and peaks and troughs. So
Yeah.
right, mate. Appreciate you for that. I don't think I got anything to add from that. So yeah, there we are. Hopefully do another one next week.
Yeah.
I've got a few of the streams I need to do as well, so we will figure something out. Right, everybody, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Dave, don't cry too much that Bo wasn't in there. I'm sure he might sneak into the first round. We never know. Right.
I would not know.
We'll see. We'll see. Don't break his heart. All right. See you later, guys. Take care. Bye bye. Ta-ra.
Take care.
End stream.